Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Raven County Rag. This is a place where we gather to celebrate faith, community, family, heritage, and the great outdoors. Well, friends, we're 1 week away from Christmas, and you can feel it all across the mountains. The air is colder, the nights are longer, and the hills of Raven County feel quieter. But in that quiet, there's something powerful: anticipation. Christmas reminds us to slow down, to look beyond ourselves, and to remember why we do what we do. Now, the Raven County RAG exists to strengthen our community by sharing local knowledge, preserving heritage, and encouraging stewardship of the outdoors, supporting one another, and passing along values worth keeping. Hope everybody's doing good. As you can see, I am not in the home studio, and boy, am I ready. I'm still down here in Atlanta, and I call it the heart of the beast, working with a great bunch of guys on a project here at the Georgia State University. They're doing a structural demolition, and there's a couple different contractors here, and I'm working with. One of them is an asbestos abatement. They're in there removing some pipe insulation and some floor mastic and things like that. And of course, the demolition crew, the contractor I'm working for, they're doing the interior demolition in preparation for the structural demo. And I think there's about 40, 45, 47 people on site. And we get together first thing in the morning and uh, get off to a safe work day. And then throughout the day, I'll walk the job and have conversations with the guys and ladies, excuse me, and really develop some nice relationships with some people. It's amazing how when you build a team and they start working together, it's amazing how well and how smoothly a project can run. But anyway, I really am looking forward to getting back in the hills. I was on this job, I guess 3 days before Thanksgiving week, and then I've been here since the first day of December. And I'll work tomorrow, Saturday, and Monday, Tuesday, and then it looks like I'm free and clear for a while, unless the old phone rings. But I'm really looking forward to getting back home and in the hills. It's my trout season right now, and I'm missing it. Uh, Now, as you can, the audio, I work real hard at the audio. I want good, clean sound. But I'm in a hotel room and there's nothing on the walls to speak of. So you get a lot of echo. And I'm using a USB mic, and I've had it for years, used it for years. The only mic I've had, but at the home studio, I think I finally honed it down to where the lighting looks good and it's a nice setup. But I'm on the road and I can only take so much with me, or I only want to take so much with me. But anyway, that's my story. Y'all drop me a line, drop something in the comments, and let me know what's going on in your world in Raven County. Or if you're a traveler like I am, uh, let me know. Anyway, we've got that little bit of housekeeping out of the way. I'm excited about Christmas. Uh, I was reading the local paper, and the grandson, they have Christmas wish list, and they publish it from all the little kids in the pre-K through kindergarten and first grade, and some of the things they asked for. And I saw my grandson's name in there, and I sent it to his Nana, and she was tickled pink to read what he said. I'm not going to tell you because I don't know that if his mom and dad want to be broadcast who he is. And, we got to protect the innocent. But it was a real giggle for me. And, of course, for his Nana. Anyway, that's part of it. And I'm still trying to adjust this sound. So drop me a comment and let me know. I've had a few viewers pass through, believe it or not. I think I've had a couple pass through on the live stream. I may not have been able to hold their attention very long, but no, I'm going to keep trying. But anyway, let's talk about the deer season because we do like our hunting. Fresh venison. I don't care how you get it. Tenderloin on a biscuit. Deer jerky. Deer sausage. Ground deer making chili. Tacos. Anyway, the deer season remains active across Georgia, including Rabun County, with hunters reporting steady success despite the colder temperatures. And brother, it got cold the first week. I'm in Atlanta and it was like 18 degrees. And I'm working in an unheated building and it is dusty. All that sheetrock gypsum dust flying in the air and blowing in my darn computer is kind of upset me. I have to get a can of that spray when I get home and blow it out real good and see, because I don't want this thing running hot. I put a lot of money into it so I could stream on the road and work at home and do a lot of things. This computer is my workhorse. It's really something that I don't think I could do without. Anywho, the deer season, the late season patterns are setting in. Deer moving later in the morning and early or in the afternoon, conserving energy and focusing on reliable food sources. Drop me a line in the comments, give me some hints, tell me what you think they're feeding on. I'm sure they're still gorging on acorns and maybe looking for some fungus. Uh, Mushrooms, not my toe fungus. Anyway, some of the late season tips. Focus on the south facing slopes, and I've my place is I got some good south facing slopes. They warm earlier in the day, and hunt edges of thick cover near food sources. Be patient. Movement windows are shorter but more predictable. Now the trapping seasons are well underway across North Georgia. Cold weather increases success as animal moves more during daylight hours. Always double check your trap location, signage requirements, and landowner's permission. I know where are some. I've seen a few river otters on my out and abouts when I'm at home. Back in the early fall, and those early daylight hours are correct because that's when I'm out there and I see them. It tickled a fool out of me. Walking real quiet, and one was an old river River otter was at the edge of the lake there. He was just swimming around right there at the edge. He might have been trying to catch him little fish there that get cover around the edges of the lake. And I snuck up on him. I looked over it, didn't it? Reconnection. Hello, everybody. Yeah, uh, darned old internet with the hotel I'm here with wanted me to reconnect, and it cut the stream off. I doggone it, it's always something. But anyway, we're back on it. Uh, yeah, get out there. Get out there. Let me know. Also, let me know. Send me some pictures of your harvest. I'd like to see some of you people out there who got them a big old buck or a big fat doe. I'd like to see some pictures, and it'd be my pleasure to post them on here and give you credit where credit's due. I'm sure other people would like to see your harvest as well. So don't hesitate if you're scrolling through, watching this on the rerun or whatever they call it. Don't hesitate to send me a picture. All right. Cold weather trout fishing. Like I told you, this is my time of year. And the main reason is it's not that I enjoy the cold, but uh, I I enjoy the cold more than I enjoy a crowded trout stream, I guess would be the best way to put it. And from mid to late spring, all the way into the fall, these people crowding around. And crowding around, that means 2 or 3 in a mile stretch to me. But because I fish every inch of it, I just enjoy it. But fish midday when the water temperatures peak. And now midday is probably, I would say, 7, 5, 9, 4.5, probably around between 11 and 1 or 2, between 10 and 2. I would call that midday up here in Rabun County because, the sun comes up late coming over the mountains and it goes down early going over the mountains. But remember to slow everything down. Your presentations, your retrieves, and your drifts. Make sure you use small nymphs and the woolly boogers, and make sure you're using natural colors. I got some worms. I need to go home and check on them. I got some worms at the house. I need to check on those. Have worked well for me in the winter. Matter of fact, those I got at the house are holdovers from last winter. I put them in a coffee can and throw a little cellulose in there from time to time. They seem to be thriving. I've checked on them several times and they're all right. I throw a little more throw a little more soil in there, shake them up. I need to take some of that worm casings out and put them in a separate container. And come spring, early spring, when I start my seedlings, I might use a little bit of that old worm casings on them to get them seedlings started good and strong. And I might let my wife have a little bit of it to water her indoor plants. Well, they're outdoor plants, but they're indoor right now. Now, the cold weather, it doesn't mean no fish. It means smarter fishing. And the fish that you catch, boy, the colors are beautiful and they fight like there is no tomorrow. I love catching a winter trout. Let me know what's your favorite time of the year. Now, excuse me. If you're a waiter, now I understand. And I do use hip waders, and I have some chest waders, but the older I've gotten, the less adventuresome I am when it comes to striving above the knees in the water. And I can mostly, and I fished hip waders for years, and I always thought, man, I need a pair of, chest waders for years. I always thought, man, I need some hip waders because I don't ever get deep enough and I'm floundering around here, especially if you need to take a toilet break. Brother, it's a struggle. And so, yeah, got me some hip waders. Y'all tell me what you prefer, chest waders, hip waders. Do you need those chest waders, or do you think hip waders would foot the bill for you as well? Let me know. I'd like to have some comments on that. Um, let's talk a little bit about, I always want to talk a little bit about hunter safety. And we all know we've been around, we're in the woods, uh, we're conscious with our firearms, but still, as the season winds down and fatigue sets in, because if you're a hunter, buddy, you're getting after it pretty regular, and complacency becomes the real danger. Always identify your target beyond all doubt. Make sure it's some backpacker or some hiker or some guy. Because me, I'm out there walking and I'm in subdued colors now. I'm not going for a walk in hunter orange. I'm out there just enjoying the scenery and trying to be a part of the environment so I can observe and do things like that. So please make sure you know what you're shooting at. Make sure you keep your firearms unloaded during transport. And by all means, watch your footing. And those frozen leaves and slick slopes cause more injuries than rifles do. And if you're a ways away, boy, you could lay there getting cold for a long while. And always remember to let someone know where you're hunting, when you intend to be back. So if you're late, they could cause worry and they could send somebody to check on you. If anything else, they get in a pickup truck and go check on you themselves. But let somebody know where you're at. And remember, a safe hunter comes home for Christmas. Um, it is that Christmas season. What time we got? 20 after. It's a little history here, clear for you. Help me out to do a little research. And Christmas wasn't always widely celebrated in America. In fact, early colonial communities often discouraged it. Now, I don't know why. If you know, fill us in, send us a message. But over time, Christmas became a day centered on family, faith, generosity, and goodwill. By the 1800s, churches emphasized the birth of Christ. Communities focused on caring for the poor. Traditions blended faith with fellowship. Christmas became not about excess, but about presence. And I don't mean presents. I'm talking about presenc, being present. Um, it's to me, it's a wonderful, and I gotta tell you a miracle. I gotta tell this miracle. So I'm sure I was the conversation I had with my father that I was, excuse me, I was worried about. Well, not with, I don't know if it was worry, but I just had this vision. Instead of a child having his little belly full and eyes full of Christmas magic, I just saw uh, a loneliness and an emptiness in a child's eye, as well as an empty belly. And so I'm going to make it my mission to find uh, an organization that increases a child's Christmas spirit and fills their belly. And I looked for a month, I know, and everything was always heavy in administration. Some of them 50% got into the field. Some of them got as little as 10% into the field. The rest of it was eaten up by administration costs. And I was just getting frustrated. And the time was running out. And so I, I just made a donation to this local church over in Wolford Valley. And I told them just what I told you when I made my uh, contribution. And the very next day, I got a letter from the pastor thanking me and said he was writing this letter to me from either West Virginia or Kentucky. And they had like 1,500 what they called Christmas backpacks. And each little backpack had some food items, uh, and some clothing and an age appropriate gift. And I was flabbergasted. My heart was so full, uh, I was blinking back tears that it worked a miracle in my mind and I don't know how religious you are, and I'm been known to be called a rough cut, but uh, for him to say that to me was absolutely tremendous. That God's will, that that vision he put in my mind and telling me what to do, and as my effort was made, I felt like I had failed in the mission, but I moved forward and did the right thing, and there it was. There it was. So anyway, I had to share that with you. Uh, Blessed be the children. That's who this Christmas season is for. And I hope that you have little ones around you that you help see or help them see the miracle of Christmas, the brightness in their eyes, and that the brightness in their eyes, and that they have a full belly to enjoy this Christmas time. Anyway, and there's now I just didn't, maybe I didn't look hard enough. Maybe I was busy at work or too busy or too lazy. I don't know, but I did make an effort. And I felt like I was defeated a little bit. And I said, but I'm still going to I was going to make the contribution no matter what. Matter of fact, I was supposed to give half of it to my wife for the Paws. What is that thing called? A no kill shelter, Paws for Life, or whatever it is. I was supposed to give half of it to her. Well, maybe she'll forgive me. I think I got a little more money coming in, so maybe a couple $100 can go to them when I get before the end of the year. Anyway, uh, there's a lot going on at Christmas. Here in Raven County, I read something earlier about Dickens and Dillard. Now, I I do know about Charles Dickens and his Christmas story, but Dickens and Dillard is a Christmas festival that brought 1900s holiday spirit to life. I may have missed that. Might have been this past weekend. Y'all don't know. Y'all let me know. Give me some details on it. Let me know how successful that was. And Foxfire Christmas featured traditional crafts, storytelling, and hand-on heritage activities. Uh, and I think they got one more this weekend too. The Christmas Village of Lights and Tiger continues with music, characters, and family fun. Um, there was the Clayton Christmas Parade. If you got to that, let me know. I probably laid up in the house trying to recover from working down here in Atlanta. Man, I tell you what, maybe I'll talk about it later. But there's a lot of churches across Rabun County that are hosting candlelight services, Christmas Eve worship, nativity reenactments. Y'all look around in the community and let me know. Send me something and show me some pictures of stuff you participated in this Christmas season. And bring a little joy to this old boy who's stuck down here in these what is steep canyons? Who is a bluegrass band? Boy, I know what they feel like. That's what it is. And all these high rise buildings, all I'm looking at is concrete and asphalt. Um, can't see much. If I turn my head high enough, I might see a little bit of sky. That's partially my fault. This is a 9 or 10 story nice place, I guess, but it just ain't for me. And when I checked in, I requested as low to the floor, low to the ground as possible. Never know when I need to get out of here in a hurry. And waiting on the elevator several times a day, or at least twice a day, to get up and down. I want to get up out of here and get on the move. So I asked and I'm on the second floor and I'm looking out in the parking lot. That's all right. When I'm done here, man, I might eat a bag of popcorn, watch some crazy movie on the TV, some YouTube videos or something, and think about y'all. Think about y'all living up there in God's country and knowing I got a beautiful home and a wife that I could be with, and some grandson and the daughter and her husband. I could be cuddled up making videos in this home studio, nice and toasty. I put up some moving blankets as curtains to keep some of the heat in that portion. If y'all ever want to see that studio, y'all let me know and I'll take some pictures. Or hell, if you want to come get on the live stream, come on. We'll make it happen, man. It'd be fun to have somebody there. If you're a member of a band, or if you're a solo player, play guitar, banjo, or whatever, and you want to get your music out there, and send me some tape or come by the house and we'll make some video and we'll share it. I'll do anything just to have some fun and help promote people with their dreams. Anyway, here we go. It's how about some humor? You're in Appalachia at Christmas when someone says, "That ain't decorations, that's insulation." Hey, the lights don't match, but they've been working since 1994. I know we got a string of lights that run across the front of the porch, and a string of lights that run across the back of the porch. And they're just for ambient lighting in case we go out in the evening. We don't have to turn on the bright overheads, but we keep those lights burning year round. And my wife will get out there at Christmas time and add some colorful strings to it. She does a good job. I'm glad that I have a wife who has the ability to get into that kind of Christmas spirit. I sit back and enjoy it. She drags that tree down. As a matter of fact, she's got 2 or 3 of them darn things right in the house. Anyway, uh, somebody's uncle deep fries the turkey and says, I watched the video and we're good. Somebody says, if you hear banjo music during a silent night, you're home. Hey, listen now. There's some folks that really do get out here and work during this holiday season, and we need to be thinking about them. Uh, some of our first responders, nurses, doctors, um, they're out there on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and uh, maybe you could take a bag of burgers or something and run up there to the hospital. And I wouldn't suggest chasing down no sheriff or ambulance driver, but you could kind of wave them down and say, "Hey, I got some fruitcake for you." Hey, man, I got some donuts for you. As a matter of fact, I still got some of that fruitcake over there in the refrigerator I was eating last week. That 54 model, I think it was. I might have another piece of it this evening. And volunteers at the food bank and the toy drives. I didn't get to none of the toy drives this year. I saw them, but then, excuse me, I must be a skeptical old fool because I see somebody there collecting money, and I don't know, man. I've been burned a few times, and it's just it's hard to believe it, but there are people out there who are looking to take advantage in this time of giving. Maybe they don't think of it that way in their mind. Perhaps they think they deserve a little Christmas cheer themselves, so they give to the children kind of thing, and then it's just their kids instead of. But anyway, I'm maybe I'm jaded. And I'm working hard to overcome it. If there's a pastor out there who's listening to this, please uh, send me a message and help me overcome this crazy feeling that I get sometimes. Speaking of pastors, during this time of year, you've got teachers, coaches, pastors, and parents. Some of them don't get a break, Prepare Y'all, excuse me, I've been up since 4. Preparing a sermon, shoot, man, I imagine that. I know some of the time it takes if I do uh, a 5 to 7 minute video on self improvement or motivation. With me working with Pluriform, it well, it takes maybe 20 or 30 minutes. I got to have the idea, and then it takes 20 or 30 minutes to come up with the text. And then by the time I run through it a couple times, so I can try and sound at least somewhat, what's the word for it? Not intelligent, but sounds somewhat decent in the presentation, so it carries some weight. And then if it's 5 to 7 minutes long, then there you go. You're a half hour in. But then comes the real business of editing it. If you got a little music in it, you got some photos in it, or you got to put some text in it. And intro and outros, that could. I've been downstairs with some of my safety videos, and it could take a couple hours to put that thing together. So now you're 2.5 hours into it, and And then when you publish it or post it on the YouTube, it takes at least a half hour, a lot more than that sometimes. So being a pastor, I can imagine to prepare a sermon and to practice it and make it meaningful that it takes a half a day or better. Now they may spread it out over the week, but still work is work, and they're doing it for your soul. So thank them. A love offering or whatever they call it nowadays. But anyway, and another one that if you're not a hunter, you don't really think about it. But there's hunters who share a portion and sometimes a very large portion of their harvest with families in need. Um, these people, they're the quiet backbone of Rabun County, and I personally thank you for your effort. Let's see. Somebody dropped me a line. I need to go back and see how many of these have I done. Is this have I been doing it a year yet? I mean, little housekeeping. I may not be here next Thursday. It is Christmas. I'm anticipating being in St. Simon's visiting with my father. And I can't see interrupting that time together to do this. So if I'm on next week, that means I'm at the house. That Dad had some plans with his church family or um, some other friend. He may have decided to put something together, and I don't want to interfere with that at all. So next Thursday, I may not be here, but I'll be here the following Thursday and a long bunch of Thursdays after that. Anyway, drop in the chat or the comments. What's your favorite Christmas tradition? Do you have your Christmas on Christmas Eve? My wife does. Her family gets together on Christmas Eve. Now, Santa Claus still comes. That old devil sneaks down the chimney and comes in and puts some stuff around the tree for the little ones. But the adults normally get together and the kids on Christmas Eve and exchange love and gifts. Some families wait till Christmas morning to do it. I don't guess it matters as long as you're together and sharing. But let me know some of your favorite Christmas traditions. Like, what's your favorite food for Christmas? Is it turkey, ham? Freddie asked me the other day. He's from Mexico, I believe. Asked me, and I was like, you know what? That's a good question, Freddie. And I eventually owned up to it. Pumpkin pie or pecan pie with ice cream or whipped cream. I've eaten burnt pumpkin pie. I wanted it so bad. Also, do you like the colored lights or do you like white lights? You just send me a text or a message in the chat. Let me know. And dessert, we talked about Christmas food. What kind of dressing, ham or desserts? Let's hear from you, man. This is I don't want to be the only guy on here. I don't mind getting things going. I've talked about it in the past. If somebody wants to take this over and run this hound, I'm happy with it if they'll let me come on every now and then and say some silly stuff. But yeah. Let's hear from you. Let's make this thing blow up. Let's make it the new radio station for Rabun County people, where you can. I can, even when I'm in the home studio, I can take phone calls and put them on the air. We could set up a Zoom conversation. All kinds of. We could do streams with 3 or 4 people on there, and we could I've got some extra mics stuff. If you're a band and you want to come in and set up and play a tune and do a live stream playing music, heck, we'll do that. And if you're a contractor, or you do chimney sweeping, or you build decks, or you do concierge service, you do pest control, HVAC, you want to get on here and tell people the who you are and some of the things you might recommend to help them before the seasons change to maintain their home. Uh, yeah, we'll talk about it. You might even get a little business out of it, but that's the thing we want to do. We want to share our resources, share our knowledge, and help each other. That's my objective, and I hope you'll join me with that. Anyway, we got a few minutes left. Uh, you know, we head into Christmas week. Remember this: the mountains, they don't shout, they endure. You think about these Appalachian mountains that we live in. Well, I'm not living in them right now, but you think about those. Do you know that the Appalachian Mountains, I think, are the oldest mountains on the face of the earth? And people have traveled those mountain passes and roads like Clayton, right where we live at, that 441 and 76, those have been used for millennia as trails and transportation routes, more longer than we probably even know about. And here we are. Some of us have been there a great deal of time, and I'm a newcomer now, but I've been there so many times over the years, and that's why I live there now. Um, and our people don't brag; they serve. When you look at how tight a small community is, it's amazing, and that's part of the what I want the Raven County rag to be. I want it to be that resource, that thing that we get together and we communicate. Now I know we got Facebook and there's all kinds of people shouting stuff at one another, and they do sales but it seems like it's all argumentative. Let's start pulling ourselves together, man, and pull as a team, a like-minded group of people, and increase ourselves and increase those around us, and make it a community of people that pitch in for the benefit of all. You know, man, I don't want to get political, but I think that the old uh, tax system has really robbed the churches of their ability to serve. You know, back in the day when there were no taxes, people, or different kinds of taxes, people would give freely to their church, and they were a community of people who knew what the needs were for I think Jesus said, or the Bible says, that it's the widows and the orphans who we need to take care of. It don't say anything about the dudes playing video games or laying around under the shade tree. It's talking about the widows and the orphans. And the government tried to step in with these social experiments, and you see what kind of people we have roaming the uh, society today. So, and you can curse me or whatever, and that's my personal opinion. But I think we should all come together as a community of like minded people, and we get to determine who needs the help because we know them, we love them, and we have the power to change them. Uh, and instead of having third party government in our back pocket all the time. But anyway, moving along. Let's make this a community of like minded people. And remember, Christmas isn't about what's under the tree, it's about who gathers around it. Your loved ones, your family, your friends. That's what we do. Anyway, boy, I tell you what, I have run out of things to say, and it is 6:46. If somebody'd pop in here and say something for me to respond to, I'd be more than happy to keep on yakking. I could talk about anything. I just don't know exactly what to talk about. Tell me what your Christmas plans are. I'm contemplating one or two choices. I'll be at home at Christmas alone. Well, not alone, just by myself. And or I'll be at my father's house. My intentions are, and I hope it comes through, is to go visit that grandson of mine over there in Roden, Alabama. Go down there and see his bright, shiny eyes. I ain't seen him since the day he was born, and he's probably 3 months old now. But I can't wait to get down there and peer into his little soul and see what kind of person, little man he's going to be. Yeah, I think he'll be all right. His mom and dad are good folks. Anyway, that's I'm going to try and do that either Saturday or Sunday. I hope it works out. I hope they have time for me. That's the thing about being a father and grandfather. Your children grow up and got their own thing. And as much as you like to see them, you got to give them their own space and let them be their own people, and don't tell them how to do everything anymore. Let them figure it out. Be there if they fall and pick them up. Tell them you love them and tell them to get back after it. That's what they need to learn, because as parents, we ain't always going to be there. that doesn't sound real happy. But if you do a good job, you can have happiness in the thought that they'll make it without you. Sometimes it's a little discerning to know that nobody needs you. Anyway, that's my moment of commentary for what it's worth. I'm just trying to fill a few minutes and stay with you guys. I tell you what, my little grandson, he wants a guitar. I hope Santa Claus brings him. I've read I can't. He wants a guitar. I don't know where he got that from. He's got a ukulele. I don't know. Maybe he just wants a big old guitar. Maybe I should I don't know. Hey, I told him, I said, son, this ukulele is yours. Anytime you and your parents decide you're mature enough to take it home with you, you can take it home with you. His mom and dad keep saying, yeah, no, no, and it's a nice little ukulele, and he's 4. And, you know how that is. They want to bang on him when I'm with him. He's supervised. And he'll pluck them strings on that mandolin. Or if I'm playing the mandolin, he'll want to hold the big guitar and pluck them strings, or he'll want to hold his ukulele and play that thing. And I, whenever he's ready, I just want him to have some musical interest. I don't care if he's a darn rock and roll king or nothing, but he ought to be able to put together his feelings and send it into the universe by means of any kind of instrument, really. Anyway, that's the ramblings of a grandfather. I'm sure if you're a grandfather, you ramble too. I'm kind of enjoy my age of rambling. It ain't bad. Not everybody can ramble. Anyway, it is 10 minutes till 7. Man, I'm thinking about some popcorn. How about y'all? And I ain't gonna string it either. I'm gonna eat it. Old kids, old wife, I told you she drug that old tree down. And it's a big old tall thing. We got one of them great room kind of things. Big old tall ceiling. That thing hardens the dickens to keep warm in the wintertime. And she got that thing up, and the kids came up for Thanksgiving, both her kids. And that was real nice. The grandkids got to decorate that tree. And then she's got another one upstairs. And I forgot what she calls it. The White House tree. We inherited uh, White House ornaments from, I think it was Leona, grandmother. But they had, or it might have been my step. But anyway, it's several years from 1986, I think, when they started it, and they're little gold ornaments, and you hang them on the tree. And uh, she's got that one, and it's not near as tall. It's only probably about 2 foot or 3 foot. I don't know. And then she's got one in the bedroom that the grandson comes to sleep in. She's got them scattered. There's a little shelf that runs around the great room there. She got all kinds of decorations and stuff hanging from that or up on it. Now, it's really Christmassy. Looks like Santa Claus lives there, or Mrs. Claus anyway. But anyway, that's the way it looks around my place. I hope your place is filling you with the Christmas spirit. And you're as lucky as I am to have someone who likes to decorate it up. Anywho, send me a message, a text, and let me know. But I think I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping this thing up. All right. And I apologize for the audio. I don't want to buy no more equipment to drag around with me. I might buy another microphone. Y'all tell me how this thing looks. Somebody send me if you're looking at it now or if you're looking at it in the rerun or whatever it's called, let me know how this thing looks and sound. And if I get enough comments that I've invested so much of it, and anyway, I ain't complaining. But anyway, just remember. Oh, you know what we've been forgetting to talk about? We talk about this as uh, a place where like-minded people come together. And if you've got something around your place that you no longer need, I'll guarantee you somebody else does. Um, it could be anything. And if you're looking for something, if you're looking for a particular implement, uh, put it up. Send me a message, and we'll start exchanging. Uh, we'll start exchanging what each other has. And I hate to see stuff go to waste. And if you need a post hole digger and Mr. Jones down there is 85. He don't need his no more, and it'd save you a few dollars at the Home Depot, and you could buy more fence posts versus investing in a darn set of post hole diggers or whatever it is. Uh, let's share that. I've gotten a disc harrow. I've gotten mulch hay. I've gotten all kinds of things from just letting people know, and this is a good way to do it. The old ham radio operators, they shared equipment all the time, tubes and wire and antennas and ideas and how to make one and CW keys. They shared all kinds of things. Anyway, keep that stuff in mind. If you want to participate in this, get with me and we'll come up with a way to have a guest host or a guest on the show. If you've got, if you're part of the Raven County Heritage Society, or if you're part of Foxfire, you've got a band and you want to share with the community what you got, and here's the place to do it. I've talked about several times if the Raven County Historical Society wanted to get in touch with me, I'd be more than willing to bring in some of my video equipment and lighting and set up and let people tell their stories, and we can publish it right there on the Raven County Historical Society webpage, or we can put it on YouTube. We can do both and share some of the heritage with the younger generation. Same way if you got a band, I don't care if it's bluegrass, rock and roll. I don't know much about rap. I wouldn't know whether I'd want to do that or not. But if that's what your thing is, get in touch with me anyway. We'll figure it out. Had a guy on the job site this week for the guys. We did a little dinner for them. Crew dinner for doing such good work and being safe, and he called himself the Grill Father. So if you're looking for somebody to come out, and he did hamburgers and hot dogs for us, but he does brisket, he does butts, he does ribs, he does chicken, he does all that stuff. If you are interested in him or having him, I think he's out of DeKalb County. I don't know if he'd want to go all the way to Raven County, but if you're one of those guys who got one of them smokers who like to get his feet wet by doing catering with it, here's a perfect place to let people know. Anyway, we're running out of time. Just remember, the Raven County RAG exists to strengthen our community by sharing local knowledge, preserving heritage, and encouraging stewardship of the outdoors, supporting one another, and passing along values worth keeping. And during this Christmas season, maybe I'll be with you next week, or maybe I won't. But from my heart to yours, Merry Christmas, Raven County. Merry Christmas. And also, as always, have a grateful day. Have a grateful week. And we'll see you next time. Okay? All right.